Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, Albay Governor Noel Abriega Rosal met with Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. to fast-track key programs aimed to strengthening the province's agricultural sector. The two officials discussed priority initiatives designed to expand institutional support for farmers and improve overall farm productivity in Albay. A major focus of the meeting was positioning Pantao Port as an emerging trade and commercial hub for agricultural and fishery products in the region. Rosal highlighted the importance of the port's existing cold storage facility in preserving, produce, and helping local farmers and fisher folks access wider markets. He also proposed the establishment of 2 additional cold storage units to improve logistics efficiency and accelerate local trade activity. The governor raised the urgent need to rehabilitate road networks linking Pantao Port to the Maharlika Highway to ensure faster and more reliable transport of goods. He said upgrading these road corridors would reduce post-harvest losses and strengthen their province's supply chain system. Rosal further announced that the provincial government of Albay will allocate 50 million pesos worth of agricultural inputs to directly support farmers. The assistance aims to increase farm output and contribute to the national government's rice efficiency target. The governor reaffirmed Albay's commitment to sustain collaboration with national agencies to drive long-term agricultural growth and improve livelihoods across the province. In other story, Albay provincial authorities have intensified veterinary and logistical support to protect livestock as Mayon volcanoes show heightened activity. The Provincial Animal Emergency Management Team has activated Operation Lifeline in high-risk areas to deliver medical care and essential supplies to affected animals. In coordination with the Tabaco City Veterinary Office and the Santo Domingo Municipal Agricultural Office response teams are assisting livestock relocated from vulnerable communities. Efforts are focused on designated animal pooling sites, housing animals evacuated from the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone. Recent operations covered barangays Buhian and Oson, including the San Fernando Animal Pooling Site. Officials say the expanded intervention is part of a unified disaster response strategy to safeguard both public safety and the livelihoods of farmers during the volcanic threat. In other news, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Region 5 has intensified its anti-drug drive with a strong focus on protecting young people from substance abuse. During the latest episode of Kasangapideya, the Anti-Drug Hour on Albay PIO Net TV, Regional Public Information Officer Carlo F. Fernandez III highlighted the ongoing risk faced by the youth amid evolving drug threats. Fernandez explained that the agency targets young people because exposure to illegal substances at this stage can cause lasting physical, psychological, and social harm. He cited statistics and cases showing how drug use disrupts health, undermines academic performance, and limits future opportunities for affected individuals. The weekly program, aired every Wednesday, is part of PIDEA Region 5's broader information campaign to boost community awareness and encourage collective action against illegal drugs. In the national scene, the EDSA People Power Revolution remains part of Philippine history even as it is observed as a special working day, with Malacanang noting that the no work no pay policy applies during the commemoration. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the events of 1986 and the role of Filipinos in the uprising cannot be erased, regardless of how the anniversary is classified under the administration of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The administration of former President Rodrigo Duterte previously scaled down official activities related to EDSA and authorized the 2016 burial of former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at the libingan ng mga bayani, a policy that continues under the current government. Marcos Jr. has not issued a statement on the 40th anniversary, but is expected to review proposals seeking to declare February 25 a regular non-working holiday. Activities that took place include the Trillion Peso March at the EDSA People Power Monument in Quezon City, as the country commemorates the 1986 uprising that led to a change in leadership. In other story, at the 40th anniversary of the People Power Revolution, Kiko Aquino D. urged Filipinos to reflect on the country's situation and compare it with the abuses committed during the role of Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Aquino D., co-convener of the Trillion Peso March movement, questioned why he believed human rights abuses under former President Rodrigo Duterte and corruption under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. had worsened compared to the martial law years. The anniversary coincided with Duterte's confirmation of charges before the International Criminal Court for alleged crimes against humanity tied to his anti-drug campaign. Aquino D. also cited alleged corruption in government-funded flood control projects under the current administration, which led to the formation of the Trillion Peso March movement. The group called for accountability from those involved, the creation of an independent and people-led commission, and the passage of an anti-political dynasty law. The third Trillion Peso March began at 3 p.m., with speeches and performances by various artists, while a simultaneous rally was held at the EDSA Shrine by the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. In other news, the Philippine National Police, or PNP, has been directed to coordinate with other agencies to investigate suspected spying activities by foreign nationals following recent arrests linked to alleged espionage. PNP Chief Jose Medencio Nartates Jr. said police are stepping up efforts to address what authorities described as a growing security concern and to protect the country's sovereignty. The Armed Forces of the Philippines earlier warned that the incidents could threaten national security, citing the February 20 arrest of a Chinese national in Batangas for allegedly faking Filipino citizenship and secure official documents through fraud. In a separate operation, a Mongolian national was arrested in Zambales on February 12 for allegedly concealing his links to the People's Liberation Army while enrolled as an aviation student. The PNP said it is now working with the Bureau of Immigration and the AFP to determine possible connections between the suspects and fully assess any threat to national security. And in the news outside the country, U.S. forces boarded a third tanker in the Indian Ocean that had violated sanctions and fled the Caribbean, with the vessel named Bertha being tracked across the globe after defying U.S. President Donald Trump's blockade. The Pentagon released video showing troops rappelling from helicopters onto the tanker, demonstrating the operation's precision and the U.S. military's ability to intercept ships even far from home waters. Officials said the ship was attempting to operate illegally in defiance of maritime restrictions, calling it an effort by illicit actors and their proxies to evade U.S. enforcement. The Defense Department warned it will continue to block sanctioned vessels and deny them freedom of movement in international waters, signaling a strong commitment to controlling global maritime operations. In other story, Senegal's Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko introduced a bill that doubles the prison sentence for same-sex relations up to 10 years. Under the proposed law, anyone committing a sexual act with someone of the same sex could face 5 to 10 years in prison, up from the current 1 to 5 years. The bill also increases penalties for sexual abuse of minors and sets the maximum sentence if the act involves a child. It includes a separate rule punishing people who publicly support or promote same-sex relationships with 3 to 7 years in prison. The legislation comes amid recent arrest of men accused under anti-LGBTQ laws and ongoing debate in Senegal, where LGBTQ advocacy is often criticized as foreign influence. And finally, in the news outside the country with reference to the Philippines, former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte remained in good spirits as the International Criminal Court opened the confirmation of charges hearing in his Crimes Against Humanity case, according to his lawyer Nicholas Kaufman. Kaufman said Duterte was extremely happy after the defense team briefed him on the pre-trial hearing, citing attorney-client privilege. The lawyer also claimed that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. was allegedly involved in efforts to support witnesses in the case. Duterte is charged with 3 counts of murder and attempted murder in connection with the deaths of 78 individuals suspected of involvement in drug-related activities. The former leader requested to skip Friday's annual detention review hearing at the ICC, signing a waiver to formally excuse himself from attending in person or via video conference. He has been held at the ICC detention facility near Scheveningen prison for nearly a year since his arrest on March 11 after his request for temporary release was denied. That's the news at 12, February 26, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer LJ Lorejo and Naomi Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis, our Provincial Information Officer OIC Marty Gonzalez, under the supervision of our Governor Noel E. Rosal. I am Mike Alvarez. Thank you for subscribing.